I am having some difficulties. I apologize. Here we go. No, no, no. Anyways, I hope you guys can find me here. Try again, people. I hope you guys can figure this, come over onto this one. So far I've got 4 lives on the road go here, and I don't know if you guys know which one to join. I am so sorry. I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out, guys. You have to be patient with me. That was 7 minutes ago. It should be that one. Okay, so that's the right one. So, chat filter. Is anybody there? Hi, Gail. Oy vey. Thought I had this all figured out. Apparently I didn't. So you, Gail, can you hear me? Perfect. All right. So I don't know if anybody else is going to come on, because as of right now, I have 4 different live ones going, but there's only one live. Technology is supposed to be my friend. We'll wait a couple minutes and see if anybody else pops on. Hey, I do apologize. It's snowing here now, quite a bit. I'm looking out my window and it looks like a snow globe out there. So I have my iPad right below is where I can read the messages, so it might look funny, but yeah. You snowing there too? All right. So yes, I had a couple of people message me and let me know that apparently when I started the first video, the first live, that I had set it for 2 a.m. instead of 2 p.m. Oh my gosh. And now I have people saying they can't sign into the chat. I'm not sure how. So as soon as you open the live, it should automatically pop. Don't have the screen full. Have it like, don't have it fully open. And then it should show you the live chat on the right-hand side. I know that Della was saying she's watching, but she's not able to see the chat. But that's the big thing, is you can't have the window all the way open. So, or the screen. You have to just have it part way, and then you should be able to see the live chat, the text messages. Yes. Okay, so we have Gail and we have Della. I don't know if there's anybody else able to chat or able to come on. So I'm just going to wait another minute or so, just because it was my fault that we were late. Trying to figure out this live chat thing, you know. All right. Well, I don't know who all is watching. If you're watching, please say hello if you can. It says that there's 4 watching now. crazy this weather. Yesterday I was running around in just a light hoodie outside, whatever, and sunshine and blue skies, and like I said, now it's snowing like crazy. And all right, well, I think we're going to start. So what we're making today, what I'm making today is a jar. I don't even know what you want to call it. It's like a jar with a pencil holder or something like this. Now this is one that I've made, and I have a video coming out next Thursday on. But it's a similar idea. I've taken this idea and I've kind of evolved it a little bit. But yeah, so this is the one that I'm going to do, that I have a video that's coming out next Thursday. But basically you take some twine and some bees and you make this cute little pot. Now this one, I could actually use as a flower pot. I could plant a little, spider plant or something in there. But what I'm going to use today is a jar. Now, don't look at how messy my jar is. This is just an old jar, and I've been using it for a paint jar, and I'm going to repurpose it now and make it into this pencil jar, I think is what I'm going to end up using it for. Maybe for paintbrushes. You could use it for felts. You could plant something in it, I suppose, too. So we need a jar, and this is just a pint jar. If you have I'm cutting out on the sound. Oh no. I don't even know what to do on that because that would be the internet. I don't think I can do anything about that. Dang it. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to hope that it's okay, because I don't know how to fix that. Okay. So you need a jar. Originally, I was going to go find a pickle jar. You know how they're shorter and fatter? I was going to use that, but then I seen it, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this big rope. I found this hemp rope at the Dollarama. So I paid $5 for all of this. And I'm going to use this to glue around the jar. And that's going to give us our beehive look. And I've also got some paint here. I have a black and a gold. And of course, some paintbrushes. And then I've also got a bunch of ribbons. Now I just went through my stash and I picked out a bunch of different ribbons, as well as these little ones. And then I also have some of this burlap ribbon. I might use some of it. So those are going to be what I'm going to use in place of the flower. So this one I put a flower on. This one I'm going to make a bow and put it on. I've also found these little bees, and I'm hoping you can see them. A little bumblebee, and I've got 5 of them. Now, I've always been told that you don't put anything on with even numbers. So I've got 5 little bees here. So I'm either going to use 3 or 5. So with these bees, they come with this little sticker thing on the back. You want to remove that because, first of all, if you take that top layer off, it is a sticker, and we don't want that. So just take the little foamy thing off like that, and then we can just hot glue it onto our item. And what else? Of course, I just got a pair of scissors. I've got a hot glue gun and glue sticks, which I need to plug in my glue gun. Get it heating up, and of course some glue sticks, and that's it. So we'll get started here. Make some room. Get this cut open here. Now, you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. There's so many different ways you could make these. You can make them your own. I've got to find the end of this. Apparently I should have had, oh, there it is. There we go. So I'm just going to leave it attached, and I'm just going to take a fair amount off, and I'm going to kind of take out the, oh, hi, Carrie. Perfect. Glad you could join us. I hope you can hear us. Gail was saying that it's kind of cutting in and out. That's probably my internet, and with the weather being weird today, sometimes that does that. So once the glue gun warms up, I'm going to start by taking and hot gluing the rope around the jar. Now, if you wanted, you could use a different type of glue, like an E6000 or something like that. I'm just going to use the hot glue. I'm pretty sure it's going to hold just fine. I've used hot glue on other glass items and it's been fine. It's stuck just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So Carrie, I don't know. Oh, sound is good. Perfect. So what am I doing here? I'm just waiting for the glue gun to warm up a little bit. Is there anybody else here? I see there's 5 people here. Hopefully you're able to chat. If you have any questions or anything, by all means, you know, ask. Now, I obviously can't hear you. I have to read, and I have my iPad down below, which that might be causing some of the issues with the sound as well. But if you have any questions or anything, just type them all out. And if you have a question, actually type it in capitals, and then it'll stand out more for me, and I'll be able to see the question, and hopefully I can answer that for you. Okay, is this warmed up here? I think so. It's getting there. So let's get the glue stick. And I also tried to turn my camera so that it was the long way, but it wouldn't let me for whatever reason. So we're gonna go with this. So I've got my glue, my glue gun, my glue stick, and my stand that my husband made for me. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to tip this down a little bit. Without totally cutting me off. And I'm just going to start by gluing this down. So take a little bit of glue. Now when I start, I put just a kind of a blob of glue and stick it down. And I like to set it down on the counter or the table or whatever it is you're working on. You don't want that rope below the bottom of the cup, or when you go to use this or you use it later, it's not going to stick. Okay, so I'm just going to flip it upside down and keep putting some glue on here and stick it around. Now, the thinner the rope that you use, the longer it's going to take you to glue it together. So when I did this one, see how much smaller the rope is? It doesn't take forever, but it takes a long time. So that's why I went with a wider rope here. And my glue gun isn't quite heating up. I should have had it plugged in. I thought I did, and I didn't. So I'll just have to wait another minute or so and let it heat up. But I also wanted to say, like this idea, you can do it on a jar, you can do it with a clay pot, you know, the little clay pots. You could do it with any type of container that you can find, as long as you can hot glue onto it. If you can hot glue onto it, then you can make this. And you can make it so many different ways. You could put different colored flowers on it. Of course, I love sunflowers, so, and they kind of goes with the bees and stuff, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to run some glue, if my glue gun would heat up here for me. The joys of going and doing things live. See, if this was a video, I could edit all this out and you would never know it's happening. But that's okay. There we go. Now it's starting to warm up really good. So I'm just going to go all the way around. And because, like I said, this is the bottom row, I want to make sure that I set it down and make sure that it's nice, going to be flat here. Put another glue stick in and keep going. So this part does take a little bit. It's not hard, it's just a little time consuming. So just when you get to the end where you started, just kind of angle it up and go around and keep following the line of the rope. And like that. So yes, you want to make sure that you don't cut your rope off of your ball or your thing of yarn, because, or your thing of twine, because you want it to all be one seamless, all the way around. You want it to be seamless. You don't want to have a bunch of different pieces. Now, if that's all you had, absolutely. The only advice that I would give you is that when you go to join them, what you would want to do. Hey, people meter, how are you? Thank you for the Easter wish. Happy late Easter wish to you too. What I was saying is, if you only had little pieces, by all means use them. But what I would suggest is to take your scissors and trim where you started on an angle. So if this was your rope, you would, don't cut it straight across like this. You would want to cut it, I'm going to set this up. You would want to cut it on an angle like this. And what that does is it comes to a point, and then when you lay the other one, when you're joining it, you can lay them beside each other, and then they kind of get melded together, so to speak, and you can hardly see the join. So that's an option for you as well. So I'm trying to hurry as fast as I can to do this, because, you know, this is kind of like watching paint dry. Sorry about this. Just getting the glue on here, and you want to make sure that you have enough glue that it's going to stick. You want your rope to be close together. I'm going to unwind this some more and just keep going around. So did everybody have a good Easter? Speaking of Easter, we had a good Easter here. We had all the kids and the grandkids here for Easter dinner and played some games. It was fun. And around we go. I thought about prepping this ahead of time, but then you wouldn't have, I don't know. I figured if we're going to go live, we might as well just let everybody see it. But yes, it was her birthday, wasn't it? I hope you treated her very well, people beaner. You had a little party, right on. That's always fun. Did you guys play any games? We played spoons at our Easter, on Easter dinner day. We haven't played spoons for years. Nobody got really hurt, so that's always a good thing. So is anybody making this along with me? Did anybody else get any supplies or anything to make this with me? They aren't allowed at our place. Yeah, spoons is a very, can be a very dangerous game. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun, absolutely. But yes, there was some injuries back in the day when we used to play it all the time. Yes, we I think we kind of banned it because, yeah, there was too many injuries, but had to bring it back. You got to teach the new generation this game, right? Oh, Gail, perfect. I'm glad to hear you're crafting along with me. So are you able to, you're getting your rope all glued onto your jar or your container, whatever it is you're using? Getting there. So on this one, you'll see that I stopped and left that top area. I think this one I'm going to go all the way up to the top, just because it's kind of a yucky looking little jar, and it'll just help cover up a lot of that stuff. All right, we're making progress. See, I'm getting there. Yes, well, that's totally up to you, Gail, how far up you want to go on the jar. Like I was just saying, I am going to go all the way up to the very top of this jar, right up to here. But on this one, I left that top area. So, I mean, that's up to you. Depends on how far you want to go up the jar. That's the nice part about crafting, is there's really no right or no wrong way to do things. You just go ahead and do it until it looks right. That's how I usually craft. And this has a big string hanging out, so I'm just going to clip that off. I'm almost at the top here. I need some more. Oh, the stuff has a lovely smell to it. Whew. Just that earthy, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's like an earthy smell to it. That, like, I think I told you this is hemp. So, right? I think so too, people meter. I mean, it's a personal preference to, you know, depends on how far you want to go with it. That's the one thing about with a live. I wish that you guys can see me, but of course I can't see you. It would almost be better almost to do like a Zoom call, but, and then I could see what you're working on, and yeah, but that's okay. If you care, if you haven't already, you could always go to my Krista So Crafty Facebook page and subscribe, or on Instagram. I'm on both, and show me what it is you've made. That would be very cool. All right, almost there. What kind of glue? I'm just using hot glue, just regular hot glue. Just this is from the Dollarama, and it's holding just fine. Like, it's not trying to pop off at all. Now, on the same token, I wouldn't probably put this outside in the cold. I mean, we live in Canada, in Alberta, and you know, we get 40 below and all that, and I don't know how well the hot glue would hold up to that. But if you're just going to keep it in the house, hot glue is going to work just fine. Okay, so I'm just getting up to the top ridge here. And I'm pushing it in as I'm gluing it on. I'm pushing it in, making sure it's into that glue. I don't know. Thank you, you guys, for joining me today during this live. And I apologize for the confusion. Apparently, when I set it up to start at 2 a.m. No, I am not going to be awake at 2 a.m. I can guarantee you. So for those of you who are watching a rerun of this, I apologize if you were waiting for it to come on at 2 a.m. That was definitely a typo on my part. Okay, so I've got it right up to the top, and I think I'm going to go one more row. Can you see? Because you can just kind of see the top. So I'm just going to continue and put one more across the top here, just to kind of hide that glass a little bit. And I have another piece popping up there. And just continue all the way around. How's yours coming along, Gail? Are you getting it all glued on? I mean, if you were worried that the glue wasn't going to hold, or that you did want to put this outside, I know, is it Gorilla Glue makes glue sticks? And those would hold everything, supposedly, right? So you could probably use those. I'm just coming up to the end here where I'm going to cut it off. And so I'm going to take and cut it off on an angle, like I was telling you, if you were joining pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it like this on an angle. And so what that does is it makes it so you can lay it down and it will be flatter and there won't be a big bulge there. So now that I've got that there. Okay, Gail, you're about halfway down. Well, that's good. I know sometimes I guess it depends on how big the jar is. It can take a long time, but. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue. And I brought one of those little finger things and I don't know where what happened to it. Oh, there it is. If you have one of these little finger sleeves, they work great. They're made out of silicone and allows you to get in there and push on that hot glue without burning your finger. So I'm just going to make sure that that part is stuck down really well, because that is the join. And so now if you look at this, sorry, just get that. Now if you look at this, see how it's feathered down in there? And it helps it so it doesn't have a big bulge there. Because if we just left it and cut it off straight, the rope, it would be, you would see it a lot more. My words aren't coming to me right now. That kind of flustered me when the video wasn't coming on. And then when I found out that it was supposed to be coming on at 2 a.m. But that's okay. So now my jar is all done. It sits nice and flat on the counter. And now this is where you would go through and you can decide how you want to do it. So for example, on this one, this black here, I used a black Jiffy marker just to fill that in to make it look like it's, you know, going into the beehive. But like I said, this time I'm going to use black acrylic paint. So you can decide how you want to do that. So this is all done, ready to go. So I am going to keep the part where I joined it. Mine both happen to meet in the same spot. So I'm going to keep that at the back of the item. And I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and put it there so this won't roll all over the place. Now what we need to do, so once you get your jar, yes, I agree, people meter, it does blend a lot nicer. You need to take your rope and your whatever it is you're using, your twine, and you're going to make a circle. And again, we want to, I did on this one 2 rows, and then I put one on top to give it some depth. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I have hot glue stuck to my fingernails. Sorry, Kelsey. All right. So I'm going to get my hot glue gun over here. And I'm going to decide where I want to put this, which is right about there. So about in the middle of your jar. And just take some hot glue. And again, I start with kind of a blob. And I'm going to pop that down into the glue. And this is where my start of the ring will be, of the opening to the beehive. So I'm going to put this back on, get in here. Now this one here will be covered, so you don't have to be too crazy getting it laying down. You know what, I think I'm only going to go one, because this rope is so thick, I think I'm only going to make this one rope thickness. So I'm not going to do 2 layers like this. I'm just going to do one, but I am going to go around twice. So I do need some more rope taken off here. And I just take my glue, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Maybe I can use this. Look at that. There we go. So I'm just going to take my glue and get a glue stick in here. And I'm just going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to follow it around and I'm going to make a circle. Okay, so like that. Just go around in a nice circle. Sorry, I just got to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. Like this. How's it going, Gail? Is it getting it together? I'm just going to hold on to that with my thumb because this rope is wanting to curl on me. But like I said, I don't want to cut it off quite yet from the rope from where it's attached. So keep getting hot glue on me. So I'm going to kind of measure around where I need it to stop, which is right about here. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it off on that angle again so we can get it to blend together better. So I'm going to get this around here and push in on that glue with the rope so that it gets into the fibers. Good, 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 good. Okay, and we're going to come up and around. You know what? I need to trim that off a little bit more. All right. Now we can finish gluing this down. Ooh, that was hot. Yes, it is helpful. Yes, ouch is right. Hot glue is hot. That's why it's called hot glue. Oy, oy, oy. All right. So there's that part. And don't worry about all the glue strings. You can get them off afterwards. So this is kind of where I'm at so far. So I have the rope all the way around. And this is all stuck on here nice. It's not going to go anywhere. And now we can take our black paint, get some of these strings off my fingers first here. All right, we'll get our black paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm just going to put some in here, and then I'm going to use my paintbrush to spread it around. So just like that. Now, if you wanted, you could put it in a little dish and do it that way. So I want you to be able to see. I'm going right to the edge of the rope, right? So it, like I said, it makes it look like we're looking inside of the beehive and it's dark, right? So I'm just working that all the way around. See, just like that. So I need a little bit more paint and get that worked in there. There we go. Now, because this is on the inside and really we're not going to do anything else in here, we can just continue on with our project because we don't need this to dry before we continue. See, oh, my circle's not totally straight, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. There we go. So I'm just going to set this aside and put that over there. All right, so now the next thing we need to do is to figure out what we're going to do as far as our bow. So if you don't want to do a bow, absolutely, just go and grab a flower, you know, and you can cut off the back where the either the wire is or the plastic stem. Cut that off. And I also, on this one, I cut the leaves off of, you know how the leaf, they come in on that little plastic thing? I cut them off of there so I could put them over here because they were too close. They would have been too close and would have been underneath the flower. So this one here, see, I have another one of those stringy things here. Hold on. It's just different fibers that are coming off of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this burlap. This is again just burlap ribbon that I got from the Dollarama, Dollar Tree, one of the two. And I'm just going to cut off, I don't know, maybe a 3 or 4 inch piece. Now this is pretty thick, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. And then, because I like the bit that's frayed, I'm just going to take a couple of these outside pieces and pull them off. So now we have this little piece times 2. So I'm going to pull a couple of these off because I like that frayed look. So hopefully you can see, I might tip you down just a bit more because I'm going to have to work on my desktop here. So I'm going to take all of my pieces that I'm going to use and I'm going to crisscross them. So I'm going to use some of this little black checkered ribbon. Now a lot of this stuff is just stuff that's been in my craft room. And you know, if you have a craft room, just go and grab on this stuff and that's what you start using. That's what you use. Get rid of a lot of the stuff that's just kind of laying around. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting all these pieces approximately the same length so that when we start layering them, we can have a nice ribbon, a nice bow. I'm going to end up with a big mess here, but that's okay. And I close all my ribbon, hold the ribbon in with stick pins. So that's what I'm pulling out here. And then I have this one. I thought that one was kind of pretty, the flowers. And with this, you don't need to worry about the ribbon being upside down. You know, I thought about painting it first too, Carrie, but I think what happens is once it's in there, like you can't, let me see, right? Like as long as you're getting just to the, I don't think you would mess it up. I really don't, because, and it's inside, it's going to be inside this ring. So I don't think you would mess it up, but I guess you could try. You could try painting it first. You'd have to just make sure that you get your rope around that section. And I've got, what did I have here? 6, 7, 8 different kinds of ribbon. Now you don't have to do this if you wanted. If you had some large ribbon, you know, the big wide ribbon, you could make a bow out of that. And yeah, I'm just cutting 2 out of each one of these. I just thought, you know, the yellows and the blacks, whites. I thought about putting green in here, but it just did not go. But I also want to put a little pop of blue in here. Come on, get in here. There we go. Where is it? There it is. And these, I guess I'm cutting about, what is that, about 3 inches, 4 inches, something like that. All these little pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to move all of this stuff out of the way. All right, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to start just taking random ribbons and I'm just going to start placing them and I'm going to crisscross them. So I want some going this way, some I want going this way. And I'm just mixing them up. There's not any rhyme or reason, but just make sure they're going both ways. Now, the one thing I didn't do is I didn't put a ribbon down first. You want to take a longer ribbon and put it down so that once we get this all done, we can tie it together. Okay, so take your long ribbon and lay it out. It can be whatever, but, and then start layering your ribbons this way and this way. So now we'll put this one here. And don't worry, they're not going to all be on top of each other. We can kind of scoot them around out. We can scoot them around when we're done. And I think I'm just going to use one of the burlap just because it's kind of big. And put a yellow and a blue and a black. I'm just going to use these all because I cut them. So, and then a yellow. Now, oops, I have one more. So now what we need to do, so you have your, whoopsie, stuck to my finger. You have your pieces all laid out here. And now you're just going to take your string. I used another piece of ribbon. You can use a piece of jute. You want to pull it nice and tight. And get a knot in there. Like, whoops, I want that first one nice and tight, so I'm going to undo that. I don't know about you, but whenever I make a bow, I always wish I had another hand. So just holding it with my finger and I'm pulling it tight. And so then we have this kind of scrappy bow thingy. And now we can leave these on. Actually, I'm going to tie it again, so I'm going to go around to the back and tie another knot in here, like so. Like so. Now, I'm not the best at making these, but they look, it's just kind of a scrappy bow, so you can kind of twist it around, get those ribbons so they're not sitting right on top of each other. Like so. Again, we can come along and decide where you want it. Now, kind of a wonky little bow. It's like a scrap bow, so I'm just going to play with it a little bit more here. Just pulling these away from each other so they're not right on top of each other. Just like so. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off the pieces that we used to tie it with. I'm just going to snip those off just because they're in the way. And then I'm going to hot glue it on into a spot, however you want it. So I think I want it like that. So again, I'm going to bring in my hot glue gun and I'm going to put it right about here. Again, really, there's no rhyme or reason. However you want to do it, however you think it looks, where it looks good, is where it needs to go. Oh boy, that was hot. All right. I think that looked cute. Now, what I might do, and I didn't bring anything with me. Oh, maybe we'll put a bee there. Oh, that would be cute, right? We'll put a bee there. I was gonna say you could take and put some sort of an ornament or a little jewel or something like that, but I think I might put the, stick a hot glue a little bee there. So I'm going to put a little glue on here and I'm going to put him right covering that little ribbon that we tied it with, just putting it here. And now this is the fun part. This is where you get to just take and put these bees wherever you want. You can have as many bees as you want. You could have them overrunning the hive. Actually, there's one more thing I wanted to do. I think it would look very cute. So I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to put some coming out of the hive. So right here, I'm going to have some kind of dripping down and I'm going to make it look like honey. So that's why we needed the yellow paint. So this is kind of a yellowy gold paint. I need another glue stick here. And I'm going to do it so that it's kind of running down and kind of dripping. So we're gonna obviously have to wait and let this sit and dry a little bit. So I need to see what I'm doing here. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't drip right off. I'm gonna turn it upside down because it was just about ready to fall right off, and I don't want that. I just want it so it's kind of dripping a little bit. And then once we put the paint on there, I think it's gonna look like honey. That's the hope anyways. And so my paint is this, I got bright gold. This is paint from Michael's. So yeah, I think that'll be all right. I might put a little bit more coming down here. Now we're definitely gonna have to let this cool before we paint it. So, what's everybody doing? This is like watching paint dry at this point. Is anybody working today? Working on any crafts today? House cleaning? That's always a fun thing. Oops, there we go. Sorry, I made you wibble. Oh no, what did I do? I turned you around. Hi. Oh, technology is not my friend today, let me tell you. That's okay. All right, so I'm just letting this set. Yeah, see, it's still moving, so I can't paint it yet. So some other suggestions that you could do, you could just take the ribbon and make a bunch of loops. How do they do that? Just like this, I think. And then like take a bunch of them, put them together, and then pull them apart. And this gives you a bunch of loops, and then tie it in the center. That would look nice for a bow as well. Again, I like with the flowers. Now you don't have to use a great big flower. You could use little ones. So 4 years ago, I had to go and look it up, but 4 years ago, I made some beehives. And I think they turned out wonderful. But see, I used all these little tiny sunflowers. So you could do something like that, or I did these other little ones and I used some little white flowers. So you could just do, instead of one big flower, you could do little flowers. I do have a video tutorial on how I made these. I will pop it down below once this live is done. And yeah, you can have a look at that. And then, like I said, this one, I do have a video tutorial coming out on it. It'll come out next Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. So let's see. Oh, thank you, Gail. I can't wait to see yours. How's it coming along? Are you at about the same spot as me, or did I get ahead of you? It's getting there. Little string there. Waiting for the glue to dry. Yeah, it's like watching paint dry, waiting for glue to dry. It's about the same, right? Yeah, it's coming along. I think it's looking so cute. It's starting to take some shape. So while we're waiting for this to dry, I'm going to take the rest of my little bees here. So I have 4 more little bees that I went ahead before I came on, and I took all the little backers off, so there's no glue or little pads or anything. And I'm just going to start gluing them around in different spots. And again, you can do this however you want. I am going to save one because I want one to be right here, like it's licking up that honey or whatever. But of course I have to wait till I paint it until that dries. So I'm going to keep one for that. And where do I want these? I think I want one over here. So I'm going to put one over here. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. Stick this on like that. I love these little bees. They're just, I think they're little wooden bees and they're little wooden bees that are painted. And yeah, they're pretty cute. Okay, so that one is there. So I think we need another one down here. And again, I mean, you can put them wherever you want. I'm just putting them where they seem like they would be. Haha. Did you get that? Be. Haha. And then, of course, we're going to put one in here. And then we can put another one down here. Sure. Or do I? Yeah. I don't know. Just putting it on here. Holding the couch down. Nice. I like those kind of days. All right, so I got to trim this off. And I got to trim that a little bit because it's kind of pointy and I don't think that would be pointy. All right, so now we've got our little bees on here, except for the one that's in the honey. And this is dry enough, cooled enough now that I'm going to go ahead and paint it. So take your paint. And I have another paintbrush. And I'm going to do the same type of idea that I did before, but I'm going to just put a little bit at a time. I'm going to pour the gold paint right onto the glue, and then I will use my paintbrush and scooch that around like this. And I think this will help it to look more like honey. Might put 2 coats on just because it's kind of a little streaky, but I think that looks so good. Look at that. Does that look like honey? I like it when things come together and they work, you know. Actually, I think 1 coat will be enough. 1 coat of paint will be enough. Just like that. So set that over there. Close this up. This is where we're at so far. This is cute. I think it's turning out very cute. So after today, so it's snowing now, but after today and going into next week, it's supposed to be in double digits, sunshine and blue skies. So I'm really looking forward to that. You know, we keep getting this hint of spring, the hint of spring. It'd be nice if we actually had some spring, right? No more snow. That's so cute. All right, so this is still wet. So what did I do? Stuck my finger in it. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so there's another one of those. So if you look on here, the rope has these dark pieces that all once in a while start poking out. So I've just been trimming them off. That's so cute. And of course, you know, now we're literally waiting for paint to dry, so that's going to take a while. So basically this is all done. It's all ready to go, other than I am going to glue this little bee on here, but I need to wait for it to dry. So I'm going to, yeah. Anyways, I really thank you all for joining me today. And I know this was kind of a little wonky live, but I do appreciate you for coming and joining me. And I hope you make one of these little bee pencil holders, a little pot, You could, you know, put a little plant in there, use it as pencil holders or paintbrushes. It's such a cute little idea. And I really hope that you give it a try. And if you do, please feel free to share with me on Instagram or on Facebook. You can go at Krista So Crafty and it will share it with me, and then I will be able to see your makes, which I love it when people, you know, make stuff that I'm making. So thank you again for joining me today. And as I say at the end of all my videos, happy crafting. Oh, I was also going to say, if you liked this video, please give my video a thumbs up. On the regular, under the video, there's a little spot for a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comment section as well. But other than that, yes, thank you for joining me today. Happy crafting, guys.